Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one too, and all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God and truth of your lives, only crossing bigger and better forevermore. If you've seen anything that I posted or any videos I've released, you will see that I state that all faith is a lie on the good God and truth of your shape, form, and mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now view of alive and well. And the reason why I state that is if you think about it, right, no matter how good a person's life is or how bad a person's life is, right, through faith, all their fates end up the same. They all age out, suffer out, or die out. Eventually, to one nothing of them, just negative of them here and now. And that negative of them here and now is negative of them being only one way, more positive and good. Have not a faithful doubt. And because all faith states that things cross bad, evil, and sinful, right? It's a lie of articulation on what all those things are, which is just negative to what is good as truth always. And that's only to cross your life more positive than anything negative always when you feel all of all. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth. And in reality check, right, you can tell an animal, no, sit, stay. A dog or a monkey, they'll understand that. Good boy, bad boy, good girl, lay. Right? Basic commands like that. But you will never be able to tell that animal to go do something more positive than the negatives of it. It's the only way it can add up, stay, or be good as truth. And because no faith is good as truth, or that's all we would be, right, for our faith, right, we suffer out and die out like dumb, unevolved animals to the reality check of our matter. And have not a faithful doubt. We were not created for this. Listen to me. An animal cannot save its own existence from ever dying, but you can. And I will show you how. Plug your lives in. Check this out. In the beginning, right, Adam woke up in the garden, fully grown. He came from a different world, one that had been he shafted by a snake god devil. At one time, the earth was a true sister reflection of neutronic matter, of the positive protonic energy of the Son of God, the Sun God of all I am, shining more positive, right, with pyramids all over all than all negativity of it. But again, the earth was he shafted, and Adam came to himself in the garden, and he had no bearings on reality. All he knew is he was created good as truth, never to be destroyed, okay? He looked up and he saw Eve, and she was shining more positive than anything negative that was going on with him. So in reality, he bonded good as truth with her. But her ways were from a less unevolved way of his, which is of faith. And because he took on the fruit of faith of Eve, right, it was a snake, a bushwhack, right? And it caused him to hallucinate for the next 930 years, right? That he had crossed some sort of bad, evil, sinful way. And prior to that, he was eons and eons old. He was the god and the king of the megalithic world, of the pyramid dynamo that was around the earth. That was a true sister reflection of the good truth of God, the Son of God, of all I am. Okay? And because of his faith, right, he was unable to articulate back through the bad, evil, sinful way of him what was the good truth of him, which was to always be more positive than negative. It's the only way you can add up, stay, or be good as truth. It's the only way anything, anybody of anything, anywhere can add up, stay, or be good as truth, only to an absolute bigger, better here and now of him. And because he couldn't regulate himself correctly, right, through this faith, right, it's always negatively deficient to making your life more positive. Or that's all we would be from Adam and Eve on out to the here and now of reality check. And what I'm stating wouldn't have no bearings on us. But instead, the Adamas man, the good God and truth, the revelation of Jesus Christ of all I am, has to step up for you today. And I have no problem with that, because I can articulate back what is good as truth always to make your lives and our lives more positive than negative. And all you have to do is listen up. If you plug a plug into a wall, right, the positive better outweigh anything negative about the plug. The male better overwhelm the female, okay? Because if not, right, you could burn your house down, or you won't have enough energy to sustain, okay? And you do the same thing with your body when you take on faith, because all faith regulates you incorrectly. It states that things are bad, evil, and sinful, and you have no mind that those things are just negative. And anything good about you, you have no mind that it's just more positive than anything negative, which is the bad that you state in reality check. So you don't always bring what is more negative back positive to keep you good as truth through the lie of your faith. And in reality, it's always a state of disintegration and decay. Either you're burning your life out to nothing, right? Or you don't have enough energy and you're growing old, you're decaying, disintegrating, and dying from it through time and extremes. But to be more positive than negative, to know the only state that way is a timeless way, only good as truth as a fact of God check of you, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now of you. See, anywhere creation of existence, atom matter is evolved, whether it be one atom or a mountain of atoms, and it's more positive than anything negative about it. It's good, that's the truth, and it cannot be destroyed. And it's a fact of God check of all creation of existence to the reality check of atom matter evolved by the physics and laws of all known matter. This is reality, okay? Not religion. Now, check me out. Inside each one of these atoms, like I've stated in other videos, right, are protons and neutrons. The protons are two up quarks, one down quark, and the neutrons are two down quarks, one up quark. Now, if the proton, which is the positive energy, the protonic energy of God, doesn't overwhelm anything negatively neutronic about you, right, more male than female, right, and the neutron isn't neutral, and the atom isn't neutral. The neutron is the soul and the matter of you, and it's always negatively deficient of a proton by energy and polarity. So if this proton doesn't always overwhelm the neutron, the male doesn't always overwhelm the female about you, right? About your body, right? Then you're always in a state of decay and disintegration for it. But it's more than that. See, here's the thing about it. The only way you could cross negative with negativity is through faith and a lack of good knowledge and gnosis as truth to only keep your life more positive than negative. And whenever you crisscross with faith, right, it's a snake of energy on the neutron, negative energy on the neutron, and it's negative with negativity. And the reason why it's a snake is, again, because no faith is good as truth, or that's all we would have been from Adam and Eve on out, okay? No faith will only stabilize you more positive than negative. Always keep your matter good as truth, solidified only to an absolute bigger, better here and now of you as a fact of God check of you. But to know to cross more positive than negative always, right, will always keep you good as truth. In reality check, you can only be bigger and better for that in every way to the reality check of your life, alive and well. But back to what I was telling you, outside of the atom, right, when a neutron is by itself, it's in a constant state of decay and disintegration, okay, to the reality of it. When it's part of a neutron star, okay, and it's not overwhelmed more protonic than neutronic, it pulsates with this negative energy, and eventually its matter can't sustain it, and it collapses into a black hole abyss. Well, this is what you do to your body when you don't overwhelm it more positive than negative always. You don't always bring back the negatives of you more positive. The only way you can be good as truth to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now. The good isn't good and the bad isn't bad. To be more positive than negative is the only good as truth of you, Christ-like, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better of you here and now, alive and well. And the bad of you is just negative to what is good as truth, okay? But if you don't know that, you won't always bring this negative back more positive. And that's why the good dies and the bad dies one same. Because in reality, in the reality check of a faithful life, right, they are one same. They're both negatively deficient of what's more positive always for you to keep you good. And that's why no matter how faithfully good you live as truth, in reality it's always negative to what is good as truth. If it wasn't, you'd only be good as truth for your faith. So in reality, when you crisscross with faith, it's a snake of energy on a neutron in the matter of you. And over a volume of time and extremes, right, you decay and disintegrate into a black hole abyss of you, just infinitely negative with the devil's hells of you. I mean, to cross negative with negativity is the devil's hells of all people, places, and things. And it's nutty and it's fruity and it has you hallucinating that things have crossed bad, evil, and sinful. And you have no mind to only articulate yourself if you're living faithfully back only one more positive always, because you have no mind for the good God and truth of you to the reality check of your lives, only crossing bigger and better, always and forever lasting, alive and well, timeless as the fact of God check of you. Now, here's another thing, right? At the crucifixion, right, Jesus was the good God and truth of us. This was the life of Jesus Christ, only one more positive than all negativity, right? And as a reality check, you can't kill something more positive than anything negative about it. It's good. That's the truth, and that's the reality check of the example Jesus said. He didn't die for your hallucinations, your sins. He set the example that never dies, okay? And the thief bonded one more positive than all negativity. And they were good together. That was the truth. Jesus said, where two or more come together in my name, I am there. And they stole their lives back. He told the thief, you'll be in paradise with me today. And in reality check, you'll wake up before I do. He didn't scream out, oh God, why have you forsaken me? He screamed out, oh God, don't forsake me. Feet don't fail me now. The thief woke up, rolled back the tomb, right? Sent Jesus on his way, alive and well. Mary came to the thief after Jesus had went on his way. Said, which way did he go? He said he went that way, rightfully, truthfully. He's alive and well. You can find him. She gave him a kiss on the cheek and she called him an angel as he was standing there shining more positive than negative, good as the truth of God of him, alive and well. Okay, because you can't kill something more positive than negative. That is the good God and truth of all atom matter evolved, only crossing bigger and better. I don't care if it's one atom or a mountain of atoms. It's the bigger, better here and now of it by the physics and laws of all God, truth, reality check. And that's not religion. That's science. That's a fact. Check it out. God, truth, and reality check. The state of one more positive than negative is the only light, joy, warmth, good God or truth, holy with spirit, all will ever know or be. It's the only state all in body of matter is stated good to the truth of God, their shape, form, or mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now of reality check. It's the only state that all dreams are come true in, all prayers are answered in, all miracles happen in. It's the only heavenly abode and paradise you will ever know or be in. All else is just negatively deficient of it. And like I said, if you're living with faith, right, just like a good doggy dies and a good monkey dies, right, in reality check, that's because they have no mind to only articulate themselves back more positive, to always be good as true, bigger and better than any negativity of them. And for real, in reality check, that's good for nothing, because that's what you come to for it. Nothing of the good truth of your shape, form, and mass, only being expressed here and now. And just like that animal, right, the only way you can die, right, of that is to not know that your faith is a lie on you, that you have to always cross back more positive than negative to always be good as truth. It's the example in life of Jesus Christ. It's the only way the earth is stabilized to 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 be hospitable for mankind to exist. Listen, if the sun didn't overwhelm anything negatively neutronic about the earth, more positive and protonic, life as we know it to the reality check of mankind couldn't exist, okay? And if you don't always overwhelm anything negative of you, more positive to keep your life good as truth, right? No matter what variables your faith might have, keeping you positive or negative, right? If you don't recognize that this is what this good and bad of you is, right? In reality check, you won't always bring back anything negative, more positive. And you can't do nothing with bad, evil, or sinful because it only equates to hell on you. And the good of you will only be a flickering light in your life because in reality you won't be able to sustain it with faith because all faith is negatively deficient of sustaining what is good as truth always because again, if it wasn't, that's all we'd be from Adam and Eve on out. That's all Cain and Abel would be. That would be the absolute bigger, better standard of all God, truth, reality check. And I wouldn't have to set these as examples and this standard for you to live by today. And that is a fact of God check for the fool, thief, man, God, King, Father of all, God, truth, reality check. I am the bonding Adam man, evolved of all, I am. King Adamas of all, God, truth, reality check. I am King of kings, God of gods, King of queens of all mankind. Because if you understand and know what I'm stating, and you prove it as a fact of God check of you, and you only make your life good as truth, I am the Father of all you'll ever be to the absolute bigger, better here now of your reality check. And I'm going to show you something else. God, right? The good of all things, right, is the God of them. As a fact of God, check, right? You can only be good and one with God as truth, only more positive than negative. It's the only good God and truth you'll ever feel or know. As a fact of God, check, the good God and truth of it to your reality check, right? As the absolute bigger, better of the thieving Holy Spirit out of all mankind's negativity to one neutral nothing, I absolutely positively am. Again, the full thief man, God, King, Father of all mankind, King Adamas of all, God, truth, reality check, I am. Peace.